All right, folks, as you see that the lights have dimmed, I am going to go ahead and just, instead of talking about what a MAC address table is and what it does, I want to show you guys. So as you see, I'm opening up a copy of Cisco Packet Tracer, and I'm going to center the scroll bars and bring up a lab that I have created. This is the lab we are going to be using throughout this class for me to explain topics to you. And you guys are probably too far away to see, but this switch, where my mouse is, the top left one, is switch 1. This bottom one on the left is switch 2, and then switch 3, top right, switch 4, bottom right. Switch 1, 2, 3, and 4 are connected to routers 1, 2, 3, and router 4. Now, if I hover my mouse over this link, and you guys probably can't see it, router 1's fast Ethernet 00, or router 1's port fast Ethernet 00 is connected to switch 1's fast Ethernet 0/24, or in effect, port 24. Once again, I haven't explained the naming conventions for Cisco devices yet, but we would have done that by the end of today. So, router 1's fast Ethernet 0/0, or port 0/0, is connected to switch 1's fast Ethernet. The FA stands for fast Ethernet, port 0/24, or in effect, port 24. Now, I'm going to click on switch 1, and I'm going to go to the command line interface. The CLI, if you can see it, is the command line interface. And here we are inside of switch 1. And don't worry what that EN stands for. We will cover that a little bit later today in class. But if I say show MAC address table, and I hit enter, you see, don't worry about what this is, VLAN 1. We will learn that later. I'm just going to point to the fields that are pertinent to you. So, on port fast Ethernet 0/24 on the switch, you see the MAC address 0060/5C60C801. The type, it says dynamic, which means this was automatically learned. This word dynamic means that switch 1 learned this MAC address. So switch 1 learned this MAC address dynamically on port FA 0/24. Now, what if we're suspicious that this really is the MAC address of the device connected to FA 0/24? Well, as I said, router 1 is connected to switch 1's fast Ethernet 0/24. So router 1's port 00, fast Ethernet 00, is connected to switch 1's fast Ethernet 0/24. So let's make sure that the MAC address learned on port 24 on switch 1 is actually that of router 1's. So I logged into router 1, and I'm going to look at interface fast Ethernet 0/0, which is connected to switch 1's fast Ethernet 0/24. And the MAC address I'm seeing on router 1 is 0060/5C60C801, which is the same MAC address that switch 1 has learned on port 24. Now, for those of you who are wondering what this BIA stands for, this BIA stands for burnt in address. So MAC addresses are actually burnt into the network interface card of a device with a laser. So hence it says burnt in address. And the burnt in address in this case is the same as the configured MAC. This can vary, this can change, but for this class, you're going to see that it always remains consistent. So once again, to look at a device's MAC address table, you do the show MAC address -table command. Now, these other MAC addresses on port 3, port 1, and port 2, these are the MAC addresses of switch 2 and switch 3. We will get to that later. Right now, only thing you need to remember is when you look at a MAC address table on a Cisco device, you execute the show MAC address-table command on the switch. All right, that concludes the lab section.